Welcome back to Lightcraft Academy. This episode will feature sort of a hypothetical situation. I actually grew up in the home that you're looking at right now. It's in Massachusetts. It was one of the coolest houses we lived in. I was in middle school, high school. It was very unusual for a home like this. Architecturally, that you'd find something like this in a New England town, but it's still to this day my favorite house. I'm imagining that I'd like to produce a documentary inside this home that we no longer own. And so to start with, I'm intentionally moving around so we can simulate movement on this wide shot. By the way, I have the infinite green screen boundary set up because my green screen is not this wide, which is a cool feature. But in this scenario, I'm let's say shooting a documentary, and within this living room, and I'll show you the prompt that I use in Midjourney to get this super cool Spanish home interior. I'm looking for 5 different locations within this living room to conduct interviews. And it's a simple process of going into Photoshop, giving yourself 5 angles, adjusting the blur, the depth of field, feel for that, and of course the tighter you are, the more depth of field you want to add to your shot. But let's give this a try. So the wide shot would be, maybe you're doing a walk and talk, you're introducing the film, you're walking around, maybe it's a 2-shot with the person whose home you're visiting virtually. And now I want to cut to, I think this next shot, we're going to go in for a tighter shot. You'll notice that the backdrop is ever so blurred, just a little bit of focus blur to create that illusion of depth. So I'll come back in 1 second. Tighter shot, I brought the camera in a little bit, adjusted, actually didn't have to do any adjustment on the green screen. We've got green screen. You see how I can't go that far, so pretend that didn't happen, but good that you see how the infinite green screen works. A tighter shot though, the blur, the background is just ever so slightly blurred. For this could be a 1 shot, could still potentially be a 2 shot, but as the camera gets closer, that backdrop is going to become more out of focus. All right, so this is angle number 2. I need 3 more angles from this wide living room shot. Let's go in really tight. Each time I go in tighter, I am raising the tripod, bringing the camera slightly closer to myself, or I'm moving close to the camera. And in this case, I'm creating the proper lead room. If this is a 1 shot now, at this closeness, you can see there's quite a bit of blur, or what we refer to in the industry as bokeh, but it's still a pretty cool shot. So this was number 3. Yeah, wide, medium, out of focus 1. We're going to move our way left to right. So let's go to the center of the living room and see if we can get a sort of center shot. And we're in a nice close center shot. Remember that within the 2D interface, you can pinch, zoom, move left, right, up, and down. I pinched this image in even more than I originally had enlarged it in Photoshop. Again, we have the appropriate bokeh. This would be the center shot. 1 more shot, then we'll go back wide. 1 more shot. Let's take a look at the far right side of the room. And now we're on the far right. I can stand either side if we want to see the lead room. So that's 5 different views, locations for interviews or actors from one 2D 4K image with just a little bit of manipulation of the camera, adding the blur. You can do that in Canva for free, particularly if you are a teacher, student, Photoshop, and there are other ways. There are some free Photoshop, but you're just adding a little bit of blur, and the tighter you want your actor, or reporter, interviewee to be, the more you're probably going to want to blur out the background, but not to the point that it's over blurred and it's sort of blurred to taste. So that's it for this episode. Thank you. Remember, please subscribe, and we'll see you back here in a few days. Take care.